Genetics has a trap that catches almost everyone the same way, getting the mechanism right in your head but writing down the wrong reason on the page. Mitosis and meiosis, mixed up constantly. Natural selection, used as an answer to everything, whether it actually fits the question or not. A genuinely wrong idea about why bacteria become resistant to antibiotics. One that sounds completely reasonable until you check it. And a Punnett square that looks perfect right up until you check where the alleles actually came from. 4 ideas, 1 exam topic. Take your time with this one. Let's start with 2 words that get taught together and then confused forever after: mitosis and meiosis. Mitosis makes 2 new cells for growth and repair, and those 2 cells are genetically identical to the parent cell with the same chromosome number. That's the cell division happening in your skin right now, healing a cut. Meiosis is different in almost every way. It makes 4 new cells for reproduction, gametes, and those 4 are genetically different from each other and from the parent with the chromosome number halved. Halved, specifically because 2 gametes are going to combine at fertilization and the number needs to return to normal afterwards, not double. Here's the honest truth about this topic. The features themselves are usually remembered correctly. What goes wrong is the label. If an answer describes identical, same chromosome number, growth and repair, that's mitosis, whichever word you were about to write next to it. Now, the answer examiners see far too often, used almost as a reflex: natural selection. Natural selection is a real, precise mechanism, not a phrase that automatically explains any change in a population, just because a population changed. When it genuinely is the correct answer, it needs the full chain, every link, or it's an incomplete answer, even with the right phrase sitting right there on the page. The chain runs like this. Variation already exists within a population before anything happens. A pressure appears, a change in the environment, a predator, a disease. Individuals that happen to already have a variant suited to that pressure are more likely to survive and more likely to reproduce. They pass that allele on to their offspring, and over many generations, not within one individual's lifetime, that allele becomes more common across the whole population. Survival of the fittest on its own is half the chain. Survival without reproduction changes nothing at all. And here's a misconception so common it's worth stopping on completely, because on first hearing, it sounds entirely reasonable. The idea that bacteria mutate in order to survive an antibiotic. They don't. Mutations happen randomly, constantly, whether or not an antibiotic is anywhere nearby, which means some bacteria in a population can already happen to carry a resistant mutation before the antibiotic ever arrives on the scene. What the antibiotic actually does is not create that resistance. It acts as a selection pressure. It kills off the bacteria that aren't resistant, and the ones that already happen to be resistant survive and reproduce, passing the resistance on to the next generation. Nothing decided to become resistant in response to the antibiotic being there. The mutation came first, entirely by chance. The antibiotic only selects for what already existed. One last mechanical detail, and it's where marks quietly disappear even when the final ratio written at the end is correct. How alleles actually get into a gamete. Each parent carries 2 alleles for a gene, but a single gamete carries only one of those 2, never both, because of meiosis halving the chromosome number. The same process from the very start of this lesson. Every gamete receives 1 allele from each pair, and which one it receives is down to chance. Get that part wrong, and the whole Punnett square is wrong underneath you, even if the grid is drawn perfectly and the arithmetic afterwards doesn't contain a single mistake. Quick practice first. State one feature that mitosis produces that meiosis does not. Genetically identical daughter cells. Meiosis produces 4 genetically different cells. Mitosis is the one that keeps every cell identical to the parent. Now, a full exam-style question, tying together everything in this lesson. Part A. A population of insects is sprayed repeatedly with the same pesticide. Over several generations, the population becomes resistant to it. Explain this in terms of natural selection. Part B. Explain why the pesticide itself does not cause the insects to become resistant. Part C. 2 heterozygous pea plants, genotype TT tall, are crossed. State the expected ratio of tall to short offspring and show the cross that supports it. Part D. State whether the gametes produced by a TT parent are genetically identical or different from each other and explain why, referring to meiosis. Part A. Variation for pesticide resistance already existed in the population before spraying began. The pesticide is a selection pressure. Resistant insects survive and reproduce, passing the resistant allele on, so it becomes more common over successive generations. Part B. The resistance mutation already existed by chance, before the pesticide was ever applied. The pesticide doesn't create it, it only selects for insects that already carried it. Part C. 3 tall to 1 short. T is dominant, so TT crossed with TT gives TT, 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 meaning 3/4 show the dominant tall phenotype. And part D. Different from each other. Meiosis means each gamete receives only one allele from the pair, either T or T, chosen at random, never both together. So, 4 ideas, all connected under one topic. Mitosis, identical cells, same chromosome number, growth and repair. Meiosis, 4 different gametes, chromosome number halved. Natural selection, existing variation, a pressure, survival and reproduction across generations. Never a one-word answer on its own. Antibiotic resistance. The mutation came first, entirely by chance. The antibiotic only selects for it afterwards. And every gamete carries exactly one allele from each pair. Get that right, and the rest of the Punnett square follows. I've put all 4 in the notes. Revise it on StudyRevise while it's fresh.